Welcome to this video on how to replace your stator on your hog pump. Before we begin, let's go over the tools you'll need for the job. We'll start by gathering a few essential tools: a pipe wrench, a dead blow hammer, and 2 pieces of wood to support the stator during removal. Next, let's review the specific wrenches and socket sizes you'll need for this installation. You'll need a 1/2-inch wrench and socket for the stator cover, a 9/16 drive for the metal straps, and a 3/4 inch socket for the stator. Additionally, have a 1 1/8 inch socket on hand. Finally, prepare a dispenser with Dawn dish soap for rotor purposes. Locate the rotor stator cover on your machine and use the 1/2-inch wrench or socket to unscrew the bolts securing it. There are 4 bolts to take off on the cover. Once the bolts are removed, carefully take off the rotor stator cover, setting it aside to access the components underneath. Next, locate the 2 metal-looking straps at the bottom of the unit, positioned on each side near the auger. Each strap is held down by 2 bolts, making a total of 4 bolts. Using a 9/16 inches drive, once all 4 bolts are removed, carefully take off both straps to access the area beneath. Take a 3/4 inches socket and wrench to loosen the rotor stator pinch bolts. While these bolts can be fully removed, it's recommended to simply loosen them and leave them in place. This approach makes it easier to avoid losing bolts on the job site while still allowing the necessary adjustments. Next, use a 1 1/8 inches socket to fully remove the 3 hex nuts from the all threads that secure the rotor and stator together. Make sure each hex nut is completely off before proceeding with the disassembly. Next, we'll grab a piece of wood and place it beneath the stator. Once it's securely in position, we can proceed to remove the snout. Grab your second piece of wood and place it under the stator. Once the wood is securely in place, go ahead and grab the stator with a firm grip. Then pull it straight out. Carefully set the stator in an upright position on the ground, ensuring that it's stable and secure. Next, proceed to tighten the 3 jam screws evenly. This will gradually expand the stator, creating enough space to properly spread it out before we move on to the next step, which is removing the rotor. Use Dawn dish soap to spray both sides of the rotor and stator. Avoid petroleum-based products like WD-40 or oil, as they will damage the stator's rubber and cause premature wear. With the stator positioned on the ground, utilize a pipe wrench to rotate the rotor clockwise until it becomes sufficiently loosened to be manually removed. The side of the stator you're looking at is the output side, which you can identify by its flat end. In contrast, the opposite side has a noticeable dip in the middle curves, making it less flat. Next, we'll carefully stand the stator upright. Once in position, we'll proceed to tighten the jam bolts securely. These bolts are the same ones we adjusted earlier when working with the old stator. Stabilize the stator upright in a secure fixture for rotor insertion, ensuring the flat side faces down. Next, we are going to use Dawn dish soap and apply it to the new stator to ease the rotor installation in the next step. Also, coat the rotor with Dawn dish soap to further assist with the installation. Now we'll carefully lift the rotor and position it into the stator, ensuring it fits properly. Once the rotor is securely inside the stator, begin rotating it counterclockwise. Take your time with this step to ensure smooth movement and proper alignment as you turn the rotor. Ensure the rotor is properly positioned inside the stator with one side slightly extended as shown. Do not let the rotor pass through the other side of the stator. This positioning facilitates easy connection to the auger. Next, loosen the 3 pinch bolts on the stator. Loosen the other bolts to the nylon nut. Once everything is loosened, install the rotor and stator. So for the installation, it's recommended to have 2 people, one to assist in moving the rotor and stator, and the other to observe inside the hopper to ensure proper alignment of the rotor and auger. Take your time during this process. If the rotor doesn't connect with the auger, try turning the rotor counterclockwise slightly to extend it further out of the stator. After making the necessary adjustments to our rotor, we are now in the process of aligning it with the auger inside the hopper. We will carefully work to ensure both components fit together properly, taking the time to position them correctly until they interlock as intended. Next, take hold of the snout carefully, making sure you have a secure grip. You'll then insert all 3 all-thread rods through the pre-drilled holes in the snout. Make sure each rod slides through smoothly and aligns properly. When reattaching the nuts to the all-thread rods, ensure the stator is aligned with the snout. One person should level the stator while the other tightens the nuts. What you see right now is not correctly aligned. The less of the circle you see, the better. Continuously check alignment as you secure everything in place. Before fully tightening the snout, ensure the stop bolt is positioned between the pinch bolts. Here's an example of incorrect positioning. where the stop bolt is too close to the edge of the orange stator block. To correct this, turn on the machine and gently shift the stator to the left, aligning the stop bolt in the center of the pinch plates. Here are the final steps of the process. First, tighten the snout securely to ensure proper alignment. Once that's complete, proceed to reattach the metal straps to the bottom of the pump. Afterward, you'll need to adjust the pressure on both the rotor and stator. Be aware that setting the correct pressure is a separate and critical procedure that must be done with care. Once the pressure is properly set, place the cover back onto the unit. Finally, use 4 bolts to securely fasten the cover in place, ensuring everything is properly aligned and tightened. Thank you for watching, and we hope that this video was helpful for you. If you have any questions or need any new parts, you visit shop.easygmfg.com or call us at 1-800-417-9272.